Our next guest, I'm very excited to have on the show, and he is Mike Lindell. Mike is the creator, the inventor, and the CEO of MyPillow. He's the founder of the Lindell Foundation. When I first heard of Mike Lindell, I was so inspired by his story. It is the ultimate example of the American dream. He is out of Minnesota. He employs thousands upon thousands of Americans for his American-made pillow. In 2017, Mike produced a story, the Mike Lindell story, An American Dream. It truly is an American dream. It's a story that is so inspiring. It speaks to the heart and soul of what makes America so great. And we're going to talk about that, as well as his support for Donald Trump. I believe Mike was a Democrat at one time, and we're going to talk a little bit about Mike's story, his incredible pillow, which, by the way, my father, who has had back trouble and neck problems forever, served our country. He's 91 years old. He will not go anywhere without one of Mike's pillows. He literally makes folks carry it around for him wherever he goes. So with that said, please join me in welcoming Mike Lindell. Good morning, Mike.
Good morning, Martha. Hey, I was never a Democrat. I was a crack cocaine addict.
Right. Right. There you go.
I didn't know a conservative from a liberal. I mean, I wasn't involved at all in politics till I met the then president-elect in the summer of 2016.
Well, your story is so compelling, and I really want everybody to watch your documentary. Really, you had a vision, you had a dream about creating this pillow, right?
Yeah, it came in a dream. It was from God. I believe it was a dream directly from God, and I kept getting. And the first thing I dreamt of was the logo MyPillow, or the name MyPillow. There were no My's back then, and I wrote MyPillow all over the house one night. About 3 a.m, my daughter came upstairs. One of my daughters, she was about 10 years old at the time. She says, "What are you doing, Dad?" I said, "I'm going to invent this pillow. I had this dream. It's going to be amazing." And she grabbed her glass of water. She looked at me and she said, "That's really random, Dad," and went back downstairs. And then I started going all in, and I had. The kids were saying to their mother at the time, they go, "What's with this pillow?" And they said, "Oh, it's just a phase. He'll get over it." And I kept, it took about 1.5 years to get it invented. And once I did get it invented, and I went all in, I was a crack cocaine addict then too, but my energies were going into making this pillow, and I finally had it invented, and nobody would take it. I was turned down everywhere. I went into box stores. I said, "I have the best pillow ever made," and it'll help you with these things. And they go, "You need to leave, sir."
Right. Well, and one of the stories that I heard was that you actually, like, you and your son would, and correct me if I have this wrong, you would actually sit on your back porch or your back deck, and you would take different pieces of foam and put them into different sizes to get the right. And you actually used a wood chipper at one point. Is that right?
Yeah, we tried everything. We tried all different things to go in a pillow. I wanted something that wouldn't go flat, that you could move and get exactly what you needed for your own individual neck. And I had problems with pillows. They'd go flat, use my arm. I thought I was the only one out there. I had this big pillow pile going on. But, yeah, my son and I would sit on that deck every day to get out for school, and we tried different forms of foams, different kinds of foams. And the foam would be flying all over the neighborhood. We tried all different things in there. And we did. Then when we finally had what I thought was the right foam, then we couldn't get the right sizes. You're right. I tried a wood chipper. I tried everything.
That's great.
And a friend of mine said, "Well, Mike used to work on a farm. Why don't you go see the old hammer mill?" And I said, "Well, I'll try that."
Well, and the reason why your story is so touching, it touches the heart in so many different ways, is because it not only is it the ultimate American dream, but it's about overcoming obstacles, overcoming drug addiction, overcoming hurdles in the path of fulfilling your dream. And it really inspires Americans. But I have to tell you, your passion in your commercials that I've seen, boy, from the moment I saw that commercial, I wanted that pillow, and I wanted the pillow because I could tell when you spoke about that pillow that it was that you believed in it, that it was that it meant something, and that that your voice just spoke true to me. And you showed the picture of the factory.
Right. Well, yeah, what happened there is that, when I was turned down everywhere, I ended up doing little shows and fairs for 7 years. And on the road, people say, Mike, how can you have as much passion for the pillow now as you did 13 years ago? Well, it's the same reason that happened back then. Through all my adversity, I had people try to take the company. I was an addict. I had a lot of it self-inflicted. But one thing happened when I did shows, little home shows and fairs. People would come up and tell me how it changed their life and stuff. And it was just that, to me, that's what my calling is, to help people. And I just loved it. And so when I we do all of our own commercials and stuff. And the first one I did was in 2011. I told my friends and family, we were completely broke. I said, why don't everybody put in their money. We're going to make if nobody will take me, we're going to make a real infomercial with a real audience. And the night before we did it, there was a producer there, and we did our reads, and he said, this guy's the worst. He's texted the other guy, said, this guy's the worst guy I've ever seen. He goes, he'll never make it on TV. And he was right. The next day we did one read, it didn't work, and we threw away the teleprompters, and I said, let's just do it. I want to do it naturally from the heart. And
that's right.
We did it, and we on October 7th, it launched in the middle of the night. We went from 5 employees to 500 in 40 days.
And how many employees do you have right now?
I have I'd say somewhere between 1,600 and 2,200, but that's just right directly to My Pillow because we do everything here. All the jobs we create, these other places that we use where our patented foam is made in Wisconsin. That's another, I don't know how many. I mean, I think it could, if you added all the jobs, it could be in the tens of thousands. I mean, you get a company that stays here in the U.S., every part of it that's helping everything, and it's been pretty amazing. But I directly have I'd say about 1,800. I have my own call center.
Right.
I believe that customer service is the best part of the, that's the other part of the equation. Why we view every customer like it's our only customer.
Absolutely, I hear that time and time again as well because we publicized that you would be on the show, and the outpouring was just unbelievable. People just from say best pillow I've ever had. When you call, they treat you like you're part of the family, and the story is just so compelling. And you're not done yet. I mean, you have another goal, right?
Yeah, this is my. I have a bigger calling. I've set up. I'm setting up to help the addicts. I became friends with Ben Carson,
yes,
and so many people from the time I met Donald Trump in the summer, our president, in the summer of 2016. I met him. He reached out to me to meet him in a private meeting in Trump Tower in New York, and we talked about the inner city. We talked about all the stuff making here. I told him about my addiction I used to have, and I quit, and what I'm going to do with my foundation stuff. And he was inspired by my Made in America and everything, and that's when I went 100% all in for the president. But right now, the stuff I told him then is coming to fruition. It's like a huge evangelistic platform I have. I just spoke to 50,000 millennials at U.S. Bank Stadium in May where the Super Bowl was here in Minnesota. And my calling, I just want to help the addicts. I'm going to have a website where you can put in your age, what you're addicted to, and all these stories of hope come down. Mm-hmm. And then I'm going to tell them where they can go get help because I vetted all the help places, and then I'm going to have mentors that actually help them. But I'm going to get an hour TV show that I want to get that you don't even know about. I'm kind of announcing it here.
Perfect.
I'm going to have an hour show, an hour of hope to help. I'm going to tell all the good things that's going around in this country, and not just you hear about all the the people that are dying of addiction and everything else. And I want to give hope. I want to spread hope.
Well, America loves you, and you do inspire hope, and that's through your foundation, the Lindell Foundation. I cannot wait for your show to come out. When do you expect that to launch?
I hope it's this fall. It's going to be this fall. I'm putting a studio in here. A friend of mine, Patrick Gosh, RFD TV. He owns RFD TV. He's came up from Nashville, and I want to put one in up here myself. But he said I can use his studio. I can air it on there, on RFD TV, and it's rural America, and people will tune in. And I just want to to give back the platform that God's blessed me with, this amazing platform, and. So I'm doing two things. I'm going all in for Jesus and all in for our president and all in for our country.
Amen.
And this is it's bigger than me. And my employees know. I always knew all along that the pillow was just a platform for a much bigger thing. And I just people see me all the time, and they don't talk to me about the pillow so much anymore. It's about my story, and it's about. They're thanking me and praying for the president, and that I back the president. And it's funny because the ones that are against him, they don't come right out and say that to me. They become a very small minority, but they still have a loud voice.
That's right. And the first time I met you, I believe, was in Las Vegas at the final presidential debate, and that was the first time. That's right. It was in October of 2016, and since then, now I've seen you at Trump International, a couple of times, because I'm with America First, and the crowds race to you. They want to be with you. They want to be near you. They want to talk to you because you have touched them and inspired them, in addition to making the world's greatest pillow. And I'm going to be in Minneapolis. The vice president is coming on August 30th. And so I will be there for that visit. And I want to come and visit your factory.
That would be awesome, and I'm sure I will see you at where he's going to be at. And
yes.
Absolutely. Come and see my factory. That would be amazing.
So August 30th, I'll come in a day or two before and come and visit you. You'll be in town, I hope. That week of August 30th.
I'll make sure of it, and I'll absolutely make sure of it. And that third debate, when you bring that up, I ended up in the spin room with it was the Governor Pence at the time.
Yes.
And I was the only one in there with myself, Stephen Baldwin, and him. And the media is sticking their microphones in my face, and I'm going. And I had never been anything like that. And all I did was tell it from the heart what an amazing man the president is, and how he was going to be. He's the greatest president ever. And I look back now, and I tell my friends and stuff all the time. I said, you know what? He's made me so proud. And that everything that he said he was going to do, he's keeping his promise or has kept his promise.
He has time and time again. And, Donald Trump is the most amazing president this country has ever seen in history. You said it. It's true. And day after day, we see this great man leading our country to really making America first. And what a blessing it is. And who knew way back when we were at that last debate in Vegas, where we would be today, and every day is a blessing, and and you have been so instrumental in supporting the president, and I just want to personally thank you.
Well, thank you, and it's my honor all the time. I've told that to so many people. He did a shout out for me when I was in Fargo, North Dakota, about a minute shout out, and all the press came to me and said, well, how many more pillows did you sell? I said, he wasn't talking about my pillow. He was talking about me as making good deals and being a great businessman, which raised my integrity to the public so that I'm able to go out there with my evangelistic platform and to help addicts, that I have more credibility. And I said, that's what he did for me. And then they wouldn't even print the article.
Right. Well, and in 2000, but you have been an instrumental part of it all because of the America First, America Made platform. You were at the White House, sat right next to the president for the White House's, Made in America roundtable. And you continue to emphasize your voice. You continue to emphasize the economic importance of products made in America.
Oh, absolutely. I'm in Minnesota here, and I did an article in the paper a while back, but since the time, when I went to Washington, I think it was last summer, I go, who's sitting here? He said, the president is. He wanted to sit by you, and we had this
It was about a year ago.
Roundtable discussion. Yeah, that was about a year. It was amazing, and we here in Minnesota, the stuff he talked about then. We have the lowest black unemployment rate since we started keeping records in Minnesota. I mean, where my factory's at, which you're going to see, we can't. Everybody's employed now, and the wages went up. Everybody finally started paying what I was paying at My Pillow, because I've said it before. We create careers at My Pillow, not just jobs, and that's what's happening here in Minnesota now. Everybody have a job, but everybody's wages are going up, and all this. We had a lot of bureaucracy here in Minnesota, and that's all been. It's like it's gone now. It's like almost like a infectious passion that's went through the president's passion. And around our state, where everybody, this hope, there's so much hope, and then you see things coming to fruition. So then there's more hope, and then more hope, and then more hope, and then more things getting done. And it's just amazing that's what's happening here and around the country. But I see it right outside my back door. Well, and we hear it every day. I have thousands of people calling every day, and they call my company to just compliment us and tell us about get behind us. And we hear very little negative. And I have like 600 call center people right here outside my door, and they text me all the time if it's anything that's not about the pillow, and I love hearing great things like that.
Well, and the tax cuts helped you and your employees too, right?
Yeah, absolutely. All the tax cuts, we would have I passed stuff on to my employees anyway. That's the way we are, but this was just a bonus to them too. I just went right on through to them, and they I passed everything along to them, and it came at a perfect time. We give these big across-the-board yearly raises, and we got to give tax cut money, and my employees, I want to tell you about my employees. With my employees, when I met Donald Trump in the summer of 2016, for me to go all in for anything, I have to be 100% behind it. And I went and talked to a lot of his employees. And I tell this story all the time. Every single employee, down to the dishwasher, I would go to his hotels, I would ask them. Everyone had a story about him, and everyone said he's the greatest boss they've ever had. And I'm not kidding. It would be just like talking to my employees. And I go, and I can't find that anywhere else. And that tells a lot about the man,
Well, Mike Lindell, CEO and founder and creator of My Pillow, thank you so much for being on the show. You're a great inspiration, a great American, and I cannot wait to visit with you. August 30th, we'll be there in Minnesota, in Minneapolis, with the vice president, and I'm going to come a couple days earlier and come and visit you and your factory. Thank you for all you do. God bless you.
Thank you, Martha. Martha, God bless. We'll see you then.
Okay, sounds good. Thank you.